Hi, and welcome back to the 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏 podcast. My name's Chris, and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another podcast. And in today's podcast, we're going to have a look at Binance. We're going to have a look at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏 capital, God help us, and have a look at what's going on in the crypto space. I'm joined by none other than JB. How are you, JB?
What's going on, guys? All good. As always, I start every podcast exactly the same. It's all good. It's a nice day. It's a bit different today. I woke up with snow. I love a bit of snow.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, where we stay, we're quite high up in the hills. So we kind of get hit first. We get hit hard. So yeah, it was quite nice to wake up with snow. Had a little play about in the snow in my car this morning. So that's quite good. I enjoy the little simple things in life. It's good fun. How's everything you're in, Chris?
We had a
eventful weekend, but you're chilled out.
Yeah, it was an eventful weekend, mainly because I just got fed up with people just being rude in the Discord, and yeah, I'm just not going to stand for that sort of shit. It's just not something that is something I'm going to tolerate. And yeah, so I banned a few people.
Quite rightly so. There's no need to be rude in the Discord, guys. It's a great community down there. So a few bad apples, we don't need them in there. You know what happens when you're a bad apple?
Yeah, like one apple can ruin a bunch of apples, right? I think it's probably not the actual wording of the true saying. But look, what I would say is, like, I don't want to keep going on about it, but there's a right way to approach things, and there's a wrong way to approach things. And just because there's a feedback section doesn't mean that you can just be a complete bell end in there and chat crap, basically. So that sort of stuff's just not going to be tolerated. Nick and myself, we take a lot of like stuff on the chin, but when the team starts to be upset about certain things, for me, like, I'm not tolerating that. So that is what it is. And yeah, I've said it a few times today. But it's part and parcel of the space, I guess. But a lot of these people will realize that actually we are going to go down to lower lows. And yeah, look, let me bring up on the screen and show people why I think why I think this, because I've got some interesting stuff to share with people. So we'll get into that before we get into everything else. But here we have crypto bubbles, and there's a few things I wanted to sort of call out. So we've got FTT here plus 159, like, for the week, 147% for the month. Now, this just looks like a liquidity grab. Who is investing in FTT? Like, come on. This is just an opportunity for big players to get out in a haze of misleading information, I guess, on where the crypto market currently stands. You've got Solana 40%, but 91.2 for the month. Again, this is a project heavily linked with FTX, Alameda Research. This just looks, again, just like another pocket of liquidity for the big players, the criminals in this space, in my opinion. You've got Lido DAO, again, like, I'm not going to bring up the news articles, go research it yourself. Again, heavily linked with the same sort of individuals. 113% up for the month, a liquidity grab in my eyes. And HNT Helium, again, 77.3% for the month. I just don't see this as true bullishness that we should have in the market. I really just don't see it that way. I mean, what's your thoughts, JB?
Well, first of all, for the purpose of those that are listening and not watching on YouTube, I am bad for this, and I talk about this as if everybody is listening to watching the podcast on YouTube. I know we have a massive followers that are only listening. What was displayed there was obviously the screen bubbles and the projects inside the bubble showing their percentage gains and losses. So yeah, I think you're totally right there. The likes of Helium, Lido, massive gains over the last week for absolutely no reason in my eyes. I think you nailed the way you explained it there. It's apparent it is a liquidity grab, especially with FTT. Who the hell is buying FTT right now? I know I'm certainly not. So yeah, massive liquidity grabs right now for absolutely no reason. And maybe in a different light here, we look at this, that there's possibly some nice shorts coming up on these tokens, because when you go up 147% in a week for absolutely no reason, then, you know, you're going to have another side to this as well. So, you know, there's pros and cons to all this that's happening. But yeah, I do think you got it spot on there with a massive liquidity grab for FTT there.
I mean, Lido have had loads of problems with the Ethereum staking aspect of things. Look, I just don't think that these the way they would be had market makers not manipulated the space and you know, tried to push these prices up as high as they are. Like, I'm not talking about all of the cryptocurrencies, but like, really, like, let me know in the comments below, who's investing in FTT? Who? Like, for what reason? For what reason would you be investing? It doesn't make sense. And look, I'm happy for people to tell me there's a real genuine reason why people are investing in it. Let me know, because I'm all ears.
Well, what we can see here is, like, when you, I've got coin market cap pulled up, and right now, as of speaking, the market cap is at 996 billion. You know, we're almost at 1 trillion market cap again. So we've seen humongous growth over the past couple of weeks. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago. I think 811 billion market cap we were at. So we've seen a humongous growth in the space recently, which obviously we've covered a lot in Discord. There's been panic. We've seen the bull run has started. The bear market has ended. We're ready to moon, guys. This ain't happening. Just slow your roll. I said it the last time. End of structures. Let them play out. And very soon we will see the dump.
Yeah, I think that's very much how I view the situation. I guess that's our market update to get us into some of the news, JB.
Well, the one last thing I do want to pull up, and I did say the last time, I want to try and cover this more, is the Fear and Greed Index. So obviously this comes from CoinTrends. You will see it in the Discord again. It populates itself in the Discord, and just direct you to the correct one. When you go down to member data feeds, click on the CoinTrends sub-tab, and when you come through there, you'll see the really cool things like this. The Fear and Greed Index, I like it. It's really good. It gets you a decent understanding of, you know, the mindset of the space right now. So what this is, the Fear and Greed Index, is a multi-factorial crypto market sentiment analysis. And right now we're at 45. Now this goes on a scale of 1 to 100, 1 being green, good, market's great, it's going to the moon, red, meaning the market's dumping, it's on the floor, nobody wants to see this happening. Right now we're almost slap bang in the middle. Everybody's ready to go to the moon. I think last time we recorded, we were around about 36. So, you know, we've seen a huge bit of relief here, moving more towards greed than fear. So massive change in the market. And I think, you know, you guys have covered this very well in the Twitch streams, that people are getting very comfortable right now. And I think it's the wrong thing to be doing.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. I said that I've got June vibes, and like, people are like, oh, you could be wrong. Everybody's guessing. And it's like, yeah, we could be wrong. Like, hands up, like, you know, we could be wrong. But I'm going to tell you now, we're not. And that is the bottom line. I really do feel strongly, as strongly as I did back in June, that you know, people are being misled here. And
if anyone watching, listening, does feel like the bull market has started, the bear run has ended, relate to us why you feel that, you know, we won't see any more downwards price, we will not go lower, and why you feel the bull market has started. I'm very interested. No, there's no digs here, there's not too much sarcasm coming back at it. It's just, let us know why you feel that this is the case, that, you know, we won't see lower lows now, that we are going to see a great massive run coming on here. Please do let us know if this is the way you're feeling, because I'm very interested to learn another side of it.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Whether we're right or wrong is irrelevant. It's going to be interesting. Sometimes people say, you know, the journey is the most important part of actually the generation of you know, wealth, right? And yeah, that's why you see lots of people that are born into it just so miserable. They didn't have to earn it, right? And they didn't go on that journey. So yeah, it's part and parcel. Whether we're right or we're wrong is kind of irrelevant. It's going to be a bit of fun for 2023. Look, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that, you know, we see the $100,000 BTC that everybody keeps, you know, banging on about. But I can tell you now, I don't think we are. But there we go. That's my views and opinions, and I'm eager to see, just like JB, the reasoning as to why the bottom is in. I'm pretty sure people are going to link loads of like indicators, which will also go and be invalidated, just like I said in June, and they were. So yeah, well, it's one of those. What's going on with Harmony One, JB?
So Harmony One, this is one I kind of commented on something in this a few podcasts ago, that it's kind of hard to see on a couple of institutions right now, you know, kind of what's going on, and one has been broken here. So North Korea's Lazarus group has moved $63.5 billion worth of crypto stolen from Harmony Bridge hack. Now, obviously, the bridge hack, this was covered a few months back. You know, it was very well documented. Chris and Nick spoke very, very in depth about everything that was going on here. For me, I've not heard enough about it. It went very silent, very quickly. I've never seen too much from the likes of Harmony coming out and talking about it publicly to explain enough about it, you know, to really help the regular investors understand everything that's going on here. But what we are seeing is that the funds have been moved through Railgun and deposited onto 3 separate exchanges. And also the hacking group has been evolving in its methods, and they've been posing as VC firms. But let me tell you now, it's hard to find good, honest, true VC firms. I would like to think we have found one. We are obviously aligned with a really good firm, VC firm in 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧. Check them out if you haven't already. Moving back onto the article. The funds that were stolen, 63.5 million from the bridge hack last year. The group is now utilising new methods to exploit and pilfer the vulnerable DeFi sector. So what does this tell us, Chris? They're trying to get their money. This money they've stolen, they're trying to liquidate it to get the liquid assets back out of the theft, essentially.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Binance and 𝗕𝗓𝗀 team up to recover. I think it's now sat at about 2.5 million, you know, freezing a lot of those assets as they've tried to liquidate them. So yeah, look, it's interesting stuff. What, 64 million over the weekend. Yeah, look, Binance, 𝗕𝗓𝗪 are doing you know, a tremendous job in recovering some of the funds, but it is such a small minute amount of the 100 million even, sorry, that you know was stolen. You know, 2.5 is it's not really touching the sides.
Yep. So the one I kind of highlighted there in particular was the North Korea one. Now, we know already, the whole world knows it's so hard to get any form of accurate, real, true information associated to North Korea. I'll leave my own feelings about that quiet just now because it's not really relevant right now. But 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗓 on Twitter posted a good, what's it called, tweet about everything that's going on there. And it shows where all the movements were, and obviously it kind of deciphered everything that was going on there. And it kind of breaks it down to over 350,000 addresses associated with the 41,000 Ethereum transfer. So this took place on 13th of January. Overall, it's a small figure. I think it was around 620 million in 2022 alone was the figure that was kind of getting thrown about. So, you know, it's getting broken down into different smaller transactions. They're moving the stolen money off from the theft around to try and liquidate it. And yeah, it's great to see the likes of CZ and Binance. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗓, I'm still got my reservations about them, but yeah, hats off to them. You know, they're doing a good job here of freezing it. Let's hope more of it happens, and you know, we can get some form of resolution out of it all.
Yeah, I think that'd be really positive. Binance are obviously, you know, I guess moving mountains at the moment. They've just also come out with the fact that they will allow, can't get my words out. They will allow institutional investors to keep collateral off crypto exchange.
What do you feel about that? What, break that down for us. I'm not too sure about it all. So yeah, break it down for us a little bit here.
So basically, this is going to allow them to keep it in cold wallets with Binance custody, which is interesting because it won't be accessible online. So it's very unlikely to be hacked. It's basically like having your ledger, for example.
But on a like on a different side of it, could you see in some form of way that this is CZ getting into bed with it? That he's protecting the big guys here?
I think really what he's doing is he's protecting crypto and keeping the integrity there. I think that there's safety measures in place. I think they've done a really good job. I think the stuff that you see with Harmony again is a really positive thing that you don't see anyone else. Did you ever see FTX trying to resolve problems for blockchains, whether they're invested or not? I do think that Binance have done a good job. I do think there is an agenda there, to be honest. Not from you.
Is this CZ regulating the space by proxy? Is he
potentially
in some form of way creating a regulation in the space without regulations being here? Is this him then saying, look, there's the mass amount, take it off, it's safe, it can't be touched? And that's, in some form of fantasy here, CZ is creating his own regulations for the space by moving these humongous numbers off the exchanges into safe wallets, storage, and kind of controlling the space a little bit better for us.
Yeah, I mean, he talks quite a lot about being good actors in the space, and I guess these aren't the words that I've heard him speak, but going above and beyond, and supporting adoption of cryptocurrency. I think he's very much doing that with these sorts of activities. Is it just that he knows this is the way that it's going to be moved forward, and he's just proactively doing it ahead of like being forced to do it? Possibly. But yeah, I think it's a form of that. I think it's definitely a positive move to keep big money wanting to come into the space. I mean, it does probably take away some of those security risks. So yeah, I think they would be happy with that. Obviously, I don't know how that equates, like whether that's a multi-sig or what, I don't know, but I'm sure there's more details to come on all of that.
But listen, if that is the case, for everything that's happened recently, there's one guy I would like to see, really take the space by the balls and do something with it. It's going to be CZ. I really like what this guy's been doing recently. He's done some really great, wonderful stuff for the crypto space. It's really good and refreshing to see.
It's definitely refreshing. I think I think Sam did it, but he had a different agenda, and that I think that's kind of come to the forefront, and people can see it now. And I think there was always pockets of like who Sam really was, particularly in how Alameda was run in the early days. I mentioned stuff about Reef Finance and the stuff that went on there. There was really no need for that. It was like it was like boys playing in like an adults league. When you consider the Reef Team, they were really just children straight out of like university, no real life experience, no business experience about them, and they got epically found out when they went into like I guess business with a shark, basically. They got eaten alive, and I think that's something that didn't really need to happen, and it's not really good for retail investors. So I think there's always been pockets of signs that the type of character Sam is, but now everybody gets to really see that full-heartedly. But what else have you picked out that is interesting you?
So obviously we started off with something really good there. Might as well offset it with something, in my eyes, my personal opinion, which I think is quite bad. And this is coming out of Iran and Russia. Again, another couple of institutions where it's hard to get factual information from. But what has been reported here is that Iran and Russia are looking to launch a stablecoin backed by gold Now, allegedly, this stablecoin is going to be called the token of the Persian Gulf. Its primary purpose will be to facilitate cross-border payments. What two wonderful countries to be launching a stablecoin doing cross-border payments. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting one. I think, you know, Russia, obviously, you know, we're getting, you know, I guess dollar cost averaging into the gold reserves over a long period of time, which has obviously been spoken about many times. But yeah, look, really, what is this? This is really just to destable the US dollar. That's pretty much what it is, or the digital dollar when it goes live. So these sorts of plays are probably not going to be tolerated by the West. I wouldn't have thought. But yeah, we'll see how this one develops. Very interesting, and yeah, I don't want to get into the politics of it all, but yeah, it's interesting / worrying.
Yeah, we'll definitely leave the politics out of it, because I could go off on a tangent here, and you know, it's probably not what you guys are here to listen and to watch. It may be. Let me know if it is. I'm happily, you know, maybe not on cheeky crypto, because it may not be good for good for whatever, but I'll happily talk about that. It's fascinating to me. I like, as you know, I like everything that's going on around the world. I like diving into things. It's cool. But moving on to this merger or partnership, whatever you want to call it, with Iran and Russia. What they're kind of relating it to is the move from the gold standard to fiat. So basically what they're categorizing fiat as an unlimited supply, which could lead to worldwide hyperinflation. Hey, it's, you know, it's not a million miles off the truth. You know, these things can happen. But it'll be a stablecoin backed by gold. You know, it's kind of, it is what it is there. And its primary purpose is to serve as a mode of payment for international trade that doesn't rely on fiat. So what I kind of decipher from this is it's corruption on the highest degree, can be moved very easily here. I've been very particular with my words right now, because I can really kick off here. So it's going to aid with corruption, basically. That's what I'm looking at here. It's two of the big industry leaders here of not nice things in the world. I'm really trying here. Really not nice things in the world. And yeah, I don't see any good coming of this at all. Whether it even happens, hell, it might just fall apart like a lot of other things happen there. But yeah, it's just one of those things I don't want to see happen.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below whether you think it will fall apart or will it lead to something far worse in the real world. Let us know. I think it will end abruptly, to be honest.
Yes, will we see the token of the Persian Gulf?
Yeah, will that come to fruition and stay there? I doubt it, but let's see how things progress. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 Capital. These are words that I thought I wouldn't be uttering in this capacity. Has returned to save crypto. Here's the pitch deck. Is the way that this headline is started, and look, I think they're basically trying to raise 25 million. Would you invest 25 million in 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 Capital?
Why do they want to raise this money?
Well, they want to kickstart their failed business.
So from what I read, I don't have the article at hand here, so I can't really take any quotes from it. But from what I did read earlier on, it was, you know, some of the leaders from 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 Capital want to start their own exchange because, you know, they're really safe and nothing's bad ever happened that's ever come out of 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 Capital. You know, they're the place you want to go in this space, guys. You know,
the bit that I loved was like where they demonstrated how much money they'd started with and taken it to, like, and built this huge business. But what they failed to mention was how it epically failed. So yeah, look, you can make a load of money, but if you have poor risk management, you risk losing it all.
it's laughable. It really is.
It is, like, you know,
yeah, again, another thing I don't want to see happen in this space.
No, like these guys need to shut up shop and move on. Get a job. They shouldn't be allowed to operate in these markets.
Listen, I think it may be very speculative to say this, but you know, I think there may be something behind it. I don't think half these guys at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧 Capital need to work again.
No, they probably don't, but they do need to be banned from operating in this space, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below. Do you agree? You know me, if I was managing the SEC, it would be far stricter, and there'd be none of this shit going on. Yeah, this would have been shut down immediately. They would have had like licenses revoked and, you know, told that they can't operate in crypto. You know.
So we will now move on to something that we don't really talk about very often. You know, a lot of people in the space won't have heard much about this at all. It's kind of glossed over, but it's a company called the Digital Currency Group.
Never
you might
heard
not have heard them very often. We're trying, guys. We're trying to keep this in your brains. Digital Currency Group. So we're seeing something else coming out about them, something that we have not covered yet. Tron's founder, Justin Sun, is reportedly willing to spend $1 billion on a part of Digital Currency's assets. Now, he won't specify what it is he's wanting to buy, what it is he's wanting to take on board. But, you know, what's going on here? Why does he want to take some of DCG's assets? So obviously DCG, just to quickly gloss over here, they are the parent company of Genesis, who we are pushing so hard to get in your brain, guys. There's big issues here. There's something massive going to happen.
I wonder if he's using Tron as collateral.
Likely.
I jest, of course. Look, I would like to see this happen from somebody else.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about Justin Sun for me that I just don't like. You know those feelings I had around Sam. Yeah, I've got them with Justin too. I got no real example to give people, not right now. But yeah, I don't like the idea of him.
You go with your gut on these kind of things. You know,
Yeah.
when you have a bad feeling about somebody, you guys, you know, we'll just pull you out here that you're very spot on with a lot of things. You know, I'm not blowing your trumpet right now, but you are spot on with a lot of things. You called out Sam. You called out Sam very early. You're not calling out Justin Sun right now, but it kind of, you know, we've got that notion there with him. He's not the best guy in his space. He's not up there with Charles. He's not up there with CZ. You know, all the rest of the guys that, you know, we are quite big on here. Just, you know, maybe leaves a slight sour taste in the mouth. I don't know if that's maybe the best way to articulate it. My feelings personally around Justin Sun.
So I look at this, and if true, we'll start with opening it that way. It gives DCG what they need. They meet their requirements. I just don't like it, and I just don't think it's good.
For me, it meets the requirements, but what cost does this come of? He's not doing it to save the likes of Genesis and that. He's doing this to benefit himself. So for me, it's still, if it does go through, at what cost does it come?
Yeah, I think there's different ways you can look at it. Is he saving his own skin? Because if these guys collapse, it impacts his empire. Probably more so that. I've mentioned several times the impact that this would have, you know, with the likes of Genesis, Gemini, Grayscale. You know, they're giants here. But yeah, this could just be that play that, you know, it squashes my narrative, right? My narrative is I expect lower lows. And why? Genesis, Gemini, Grayscale. This could be just untrue and unfounded.
One key thing I really want to point out here, Justin Sun explored the option of buying FTX before it collapsed. He did not go through with it, quite obviously. FTX collapsed. Is this just going to be another one for Justin Sun to get his name out there, to get the Tron name out there, to say, oh, look how much money we do have, and we can buy this, we can buy that, but we don't. So is this what we're going to see again? Justin Sun, I want to buy this. I want to, you know, spend this $1 billion on some of DCG's assets. But, you know, he doesn't. He just gets his name out there, gets the publicity.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements that it could be like that. Who knows? At the end of the day, we kind of just need to see how these things play out. I'm still in I guess the mindset that these companies failing do bring us to, you know, to the knees, I guess, and those potentially lower prices. And, you know, it might not be new lower lows. Maybe the bottom is in, but we're just going to go really, really close to it. I mean, I still believe that we're going to see lower lows. But you know, nobody really knows, right?
Well,
That's why I keep getting told anyway.
You know, these technical analyst guys, you know, there's a few of them out there that are actually quite good at their job.
Hmm.
I'd sit in their fence rather than other folks' fences. It's in the data, okay? It may be easy to say that. Maybe you don't align with the way we look at the data, the likes of the elite wave theory. You know, you might want to run on trend lines. If that's your bag, go for it. Fill up. Let us know if that's the case. If you don't align with the elite wave, let us know why. But you know, it's no secret I've been practicing elite wave. I completed the course. I've been putting it into practice. I've found it fascinating to learn it and kind of like try to better myself with it. So I personally think it's in the data. We will see lower lows. I see no reason why we won't. So yeah, we're definitely going down in my opinion. The 3Gs, I think they will be the catalyst.
Yeah, I just can't see anybody in their right mind buying up the assets before, you know, that, I guess, bankruptcy filing gets put out there. I just think that we would have heard by now, and it would have been done.
For me, it's just too much money. There's just far too much money to get raised. What else that doesn't sit right with me right now is they haven't even said like what attempts they have done to raise the money needed, how much of it. I think we've maybe seen one update, and that was it, to say like this is how much we have raised so far. We've only got X amount left to go, so we can secure everything else. I don't like the fact that we don't know, and usually when you don't know, it's not really great news.
Yeah, like it's too quiet, eerily quiet, and yeah, we'll just wait and see what happens and how it all plays out. But yeah, I think that'll probably bring us to a close for the podcast for today. I hope everybody enjoyed today's video. Any closing thoughts, JB?
Just a few things. I want to touch on a couple of numbers. You know, we're seeing really good movements in the Twitch channel just now. So, you know, jump down in there, guys. Follow along. 10 o'clock, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Really good stream. I enjoy that. I put my earbuds in at work, sit and listen along, chat with you guys. So, you know, it's really good. Had a few good chats in there over the last few weeks. You know, that's where the whole bin saga came from. So, yeah, you don't want to be missing out on that. As for Discord, we've seen good numbers with the Discord also. We're about 6,350 members. So we've seen a massive growth there. You know, it's really good to see. The whole Cheeky Crypto YouTube channel, the main channel, that's around about 143,000 subscribers right now. Great to see. But most important, the one that is winning the race right now between podcast and the Twitch channel is, of course, the Cheeky Crypto podcast. And we have now hit 2,390 subscribers on YouTube, that is. And yeah, big thank you to you guys that are listening, watching on YouTube. It means a lot to us. Continue to subscribe and like. If you haven't done so already, please do. It does mean a lot. And I will just leave you with my usual. If you guys are going to trade, tight stop loss, make great gains, stay safe in the space. I'll see you next time out.
Yeah, and I think I'll echo that. And yeah, look, the podcast is doing fantastically well. Appreciate everybody subscribing and following, mashing up that like button. You know, the podcast is doing phenomenally well as an actual podcast as well on Spotify and various other podcast outlets. So yeah, look, really appreciate everyone joining. For me, expect a volatile few weeks. You know, I think the market is going to be volatile, but yeah, ultimately we're in a good position, and I look forward to seeing how everything plays out. So if you enjoyed today's video, mash up that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.